Okay, so now we're started, and hopefully this isn't gonna have any more technical problems, because Discord is finally working. And now, let us do it. We'll put OBS in place. Okay. I found out, or I remembered, I should say, that we stopped recording immediately after, or I should say immediately before the day was done. So that was a big L. I returned to my room. Next door, past this one small sheet, is Saber's room.
Saber,
That's a little loud.
起きています。何かありましたか、マスター。
Opening the sliding screen silently, Saber enters. I hold on to my heart, pounding from having her actually in front of me. Calm down, I'm just going to talk to her as a master.
シロ、顔色が優れませんが、傷が開いたのですか。
いや、そんなことはない。体の方はとっくに大丈夫だ。
はい、問題はありません。今の状態では完治まで時間はかかりますが、このままでも平均値はクリアしていますから。
It's not confidence or boasting. She's probably just telling the truth. I have no response. Saber's statement should be encouraging to a master, but I don't want such a slender girl to fight.
その一つ聞くけど、セイバーは戦うこと以外に何か目的はないのか。せっかくここにいるんだから、他にしたいこととかあるだろう。
他の目的ですか。そのようなことはありませんが、サーバントは戦うためだけに呼び出されたものです。それ以外の目的など余分なだけだ。シローの発言はひどく的が外れています。
I thought so. I'm pretty much asking one who was summoned to fight, not to fight. It's not that I want to tell her that. Well, how should I put this? Saber is lacking in humanity. It would be fine if she were only going to fight, but she's in front of me as an actual person. So it's wrong for her just to fight. If Saber is actually here, I want to have her do something she enjoys.
なあ、セイバー。サーバントってのは過去の英雄なんだろう。なら
I stopped myself before I ask her what she was like before.
私の新名は教えられません。
Saber said that before as a secret between us. So even if I asked her about her past, she wouldn't answer.
シロ、言いかけてやめるのはよくありません。必要な質問なら答えますが。
いや、今のは忘れてくれ。バカなことを口走りそうになっただけだ。
I mean, at least he's self-aware.
Yeah.
I say that, averting my gaze. It really was something stupid. I shouldn't have been interested in Saber's true identity, and she refused because she couldn't tell me. If I bring it up again, it will only prove that I'm a no-good master repeating a useless question. Well, what else is there to talk about besides that? If I can't ask about Saber, the only thing that remains is about me. That would be even more meaningless, though. Now I'm just gonna do what I want. If I can't ask her about her true identity, I'll get her to have... What? I'll get ready to have her look at me strangely, and I'll ask about things such as what she likes and what she wants for breakfast and...
シロ、あなたから質問がないのなら、私から尋ねていいでしょうか。
いいけど、何？
昨夜のことです。シロは私を助けようとしてバーサーカーに打ち倒されました。
覚えているけど、なんだよ。朝の続きをしたいのか。軽率な行動だったってのは分かってるから、あんまり思い出させないでくれ。
それは私も同じです。ですがこれはあなたという人間を知るためにシロ、あなたはなぜバーサーカーに向かったのです。近寄ればどうなるかシロには分からなかったのですか。
それは
I knew that. I understood that I'd be killed if I approached, but I didn't try to save Saber out of optimism that I'd be safe while doing so. Back then, all I thought about was saving Saber. I didn't care about what would happen afterwards. At that time, the most important thing for me was saving Saber. Probably it was just my fear of not being able to save Saber was greater than my fear of getting killed.
悪い、忘れた。 一瞬のことだったからな。その時の考えなんてわからない。きっと気が動転していたんだ。そうでもなけりゃあんな特攻はできない。
Perhaps because Saber's eyes were so serious. I don't tell her the truth. I just say something to get out of this situation.
つまりただ自然に私を助けようとしたのですね。
自然じゃない。気が動転してたって言っただろ。もう一回あんなことになったらその時はきっとガタガタ震えてる。
そうですね。それが正常な人間です。自らの命を無視して他人を助けようとする人間などいない。
This is the first confirmation that Shirou is not human.
それは英雄と呼ばれた者たちでさえ例外ではないでしょう。
What?
ですからそんな人間がいるとしたら
Okay.
その人物の内面はどこか欠落しています。
I think she's wrong. He is just a human with big balls.
その欠落を
She's
超えた
over.
まま進んでは
She's overanalyzing Shirou.
悲劇だけです。
Okay.
Her deep green eyes are trying to tell me something. I take that and
しつこいぞセイバー。あれは気の迷いだって言ってるだろ。俺だって死ぬのは怖いんだ。そんな聖人君子になんてなれるもんか。次にあんなことになったらその時はセイバーより自分を優先させるさ。
perhaps she is thinking of herself in Shirou's actions. I deflected with these heartless words.
それはよかった。私の思い違いなら問題はないでしょう。ええ、確かにシローは臆病です。道さえ間違えなければきっと正しい魔術師になれる。
I think she's wrong to say that Shirou is
臆病に
coward.
見えるのか。
I mean, to be fair, he's trying to make that look like what's going on, because he's lying about his motivations to go help her. He's trying to seem...
Okay, that's true. That's true.
It's all really bad, because Shirou is really bad at communicating, and he's trying to seem like he's a responsible and intelligent person, when he's actually just wants to be a
He
hero,
isn't.
and he's
He is just-
he's a good-hearted kid who wants to do the right thing. But
Yeah.
that just makes him seem like an idiot.
ええ、とても。置かれた状況を受け入れるために努力するあたりが特に。そういった賢明さを時に臆病というのです。恐れを知らない者は賢者になれないのと同じですね。
She must be relieved. Saber says this, smiling a bit. That gesture is so lovely and elegant. Because of it, I cannot think of anything else to say, and we end up staying in the room together for a while.
Shirou lower head stopped working. Stopped working.
And night falls. It's not like I need to talk to Saber or Tohsaka, so bedtime comes as usual. It's 11 o'clock. The lights in the house are turned off, and the people in it sleep to prepare for tomorrow. I open my eyes, still on my side. It's the room I've grown accustomed to sleeping in, but it's different today.
なんだってか。
It's so quiet, so why can't I hear Saber's breathing in the next room? No, I know. If it's so quiet, it's only natural for me to be able to hear what's going on in the next room, and being able to hear her sleeping makes me imagine her sleeping.
畜生。こんな状況で眠れるもんか。
I'm tired of this hell. I climb out of the futon, trying not to wake Saber, and I retreat to my usual place.
助かった。セイバー気づくと思ったけど、割と鈍感なんだな。
Or maybe she just sleeps deeply. I wonder for a moment whether she can really protect her master like that, but there's no danger now. If servants are connected to their masters, she should wake up when her master is in danger.
遠坂は寝てるみたいだな。
The lights there are off. She must be defiant or just adaptable. Tohsaka must have gotten used to this place in just a day.
まあ実際助かるんだよな。あいつがいてくれると。
Yeah, it helps, even if it's troubling sometimes. For example, the bandage wrapped around my hand.
レイジは覚醒か。言われてみるまで気づかなかった。
The command spell a master bears appears somewhere on their arm. In my case, it's on the back of my left hand. I can't hide it with my clothes, so I'm hiding it with a bandage, even though it looks unnatural.
冬だし、長めの長袖を着てごまかそう。
Tohsaka has hers around the middle of her right hand or somewhere like that. They say the command spell is different for each master, but I don't think I'll ever see Tohsaka's command spell. The shed is silent. This is the place where Lancer cornered me yesterday, and where Saber appeared. The door is still open and the inside is as dark as if denying anyone's entry. But this darkness is familiar to me. The old building that I used to play in, the place you could call my real room, stands silently in the cold winter night. I enter. I close the door to shut out the outside air and turn on the old stove.
そうだな。今日ぐらいは休もうと思ったけど、却下しよう。2日連続でサボったら親父にどやされる。
I sit in the middle of the shed and take a deep breath. Training should be continued without rest. Magic is mental training for me, so I shouldn't neglect it for minor reasons. I adjust my breathing and begin my training. Inside my head is the usual image, the image of the sword that appears in my empty head. I ignore it and clear my mind. Once I let magical energy flow through me, it's the usual practice of strengthening. The strengthening magic which I succeed at for the first time in a few years after being attacked by Lancer. I have to repeat it before I forget it and make sure I master it, or it'll be a waste.
トレス。
I half close my eyes and release the contents of my lungs. Right now, this is all. Everything goes away once I'm concentrating on this, the Holy Grail War Saber Tohsaka. If I empty my mind and forget all the doubts I have, I should be able to sleep tonight. February 4th, Fate 5, New Life. I feel the white sunlight upon me. There must be a draft. I feel a cold wind and slowly wake up.
あれ。どうそうだ、ここ。
I pick my body up and shake my sleepy head.
そうか。昨日そのまま眠っちまったんだ。
After yesterday's routine, after the training to create another sensation within me, I must have been too lazy to return to my room.
外の様子だと6時前ってところか。いかん。朝飯の支度しなきゃ。
I fold up the blanket, straighten up the things I failed to strengthen yesterday, and head back to the house to wash my face. When I leave the shed, it's really cold outside. Huyuki City is warm during the winter, but the top of the mountain on this side has the chill of normal winter.
お、霜が降りてる。芝生、そろそろちゃんとしないとダメかな。
The sound of breaking ice. There's frost on the ground and footprints are formed as I walk. So, I wash my face with freezing water and pull myself together. I'm wide awake now. Now that I'm awake, all the things I don't want to think about, like the situation I'm in, come straight to mind.
そうだ。のんきに顔洗ってる場合じゃなかったっけ。
It's 5 to 6. There are a ton of things I have to do, but I should return to my room and check on Saber first.
だよな。黙って部屋を出たことになるんだし、一言説明しておかないと。
I'll be troubled if Saber misunderstands things. It's my daily routine to go out to the shed at night, so she should understand if I explain.
セイバーにちゃんと説明したら、その後は朝飯の支度だろ。トーサカは食べないらしいから、セイバーの分を足せばいいだけか。
Oh. In that case, I should go and buy more ingredients for additional people. I should note that before I forget. We're gonna say something?
Oh, was just wondering what he wants to explain.
Oh, yeah. What could it be? It feels like I'm forgetting something really important.
やっぱ6時だ。急がないと間に合わない。
No, it's not that he's forgetting. Well, if I can't remember, it can't be anything too important. I quietly open the door. The room is just like it was yesterday. There's no sign of Saber waking up in the middle of the night and searching this room. I guess she didn't realize that I escaped the room last night.
拍子抜けたな。セイバーならそれぐらいは気がつくと思った。
Or did she need sleep so much that she couldn't notice?
そうか。体を維持するために頻繁に眠るって言ってたのはそういうことかもしれない。
She's sleeping as close to me as she can so she can come to me in case something does happen. Either way, it won't make much of a difference where I go if it's within the house. I can detect intruders from the boundary field. I should be able to protect myself for about a minute with that, and Saber should be able to come save me in a minute wherever I may be in this house.
そうだよな。それに土蔵だったら隠れる場所には事欠かないし。
Anyways, I shouldn't be scolded at for what I did last night. I was considering explaining this to Saber, but it seems there's no need for that, and I don't think I should wake her up either if she's asleep.
セイバー、朝飯の支度をしてくる。セイバーの分も用意しとくけど、眠かったら無理に起きなくていいからな。また後で来るから、それまで休んでてくれ。
I call out to her and quietly leave the room. There's no one in the living room. I open the refrigerator and consider what I should make for breakfast. And then,
おはよう。朝早いのね。
God damn it, we fucked up. Tohsaka comes in looking like she's in a really bad mood.
トーサカ、どうした？なんかあったのか？
I like that visual.
朝はいつもこんなだから気にしないで。
This is her true form.
Even the goddess have weakness.
Tohsaka crosses the living room like a ghost.
大丈夫かお前？
She's even transparent.
なんか目つきが尋常じゃないぞ。
Oh shit.
A school idol in Shirou's head just died right now.
顔でも洗えば目が覚めるわ。ここからだとどう行くんだっけ？
そっちの廊下からのが近い。顔を洗うだけなら玄関側の廊下に洗面所がある。
I mean, to be fair, who the fuck wakes up at 5:55 in the morning?
That's true.
そういえばあったわね、そんなのが。
I'm not sure how much you heard, but Tohsaka waves her hand and leaves. And then, just as Tohsaka disappears into the hallway, I hear a bell informing me of a visitor.
シロー、誰か来たけど。
I got holy shit.
Oh fuck, I hear Tohsaka's voice from the hallway.
ああ、気にしないでいい。この時間に来るのは身内だから。
There's two
no.
girls in the house.
It'll be Sakura arriving at this time. Sakura has a spare key, so I shouldn't need to go to the door.
まったく、チャイムなんて押さなくていいって何度言っても聞かないんだからな、さくらは。
He should be losing his shit right now. Why is he so calm? Sakura is like a member of the family, so she can come in whenever she wants. But she's polite and she only comes in after saying excuse me. That must be one of Sakura's good points, but if she's considerate all the time, she'll... Hold on.
Oh.
Sakura is at my house? I run through the hallway. Scolding myself for my stupidity comes later. I have to get to the entrance and make her go home before she sees Tohsaka. I reach the entrance out of breath, but it's too late. There. Oh no. Is Tohsaka greeting the guest even though I didn't ask her to? And Sakura just standing there surprised. Sakura's at the door and Tohsaka is in the hallway. With an indescribable tension, the two look at each other.
おはよう、マトさん。こんなところで顔を合わせるなんて。
Tohsaka asks as if looking down on Sakura from the hallway. Yep.
I don't know why, but they kind of look similar to each other.
Just a little bit, maybe on the face.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Her face asks why.
Okay.
I'm asking why. Sakura looks at Tohsaka with fear in her eyes. Sakura is traumatized that Shirou just was able to sleep with Tohsaka, apparently.
Yeah.
The fact that
And she
Sakura
doesn't know
thinks-
about Saber yet.
It's very funny to me that Sakura thinks that Shirou was able to sleep with Tohsaka. That is just impossible. I'm sorry, guys. It's never gonna happen. Damn it. I can't call out to them. Of course you can. You're right there. They're ignoring me and staring at each other. There's no room for me to say anything. All I can do is to think how to explain things to Sakura, but before I can think up a good explanation.
Sakura is like the wife, and Tohsaka is like the lover.
Indeed. Sakura looks at me as if asking for help.
ああ、それが話すと長くなるんだけど。
長くならないわよ。単に私がここに下宿することになっただけだも
I'm
の。
just staying over here
Yeah, I'm just staying
for the
here.
night.
Clearly, she cuts off my sentence and just states the point.
本当なんですか？
Oh no.
要点だけ言えばな。ちょっとした事情があって、遠坂にはしばらくうちにいてもらうことになった。ごめん。
Well, that's where the title
連絡を入
comes
れ忘れ
from.
た。
Yes.
朝から驚かせてすまなかった。
謝らないでください、先輩。確かに驚きましたけど、そんなのはいいんです。それを
I mean, she was surprised. It's unbelievable, you could say.
ええ。
She'll be more
これは
surprised.
私とシローで決めたことよ。家主であるシローが同意したんだから、もう決定事項なの。
Tohsaka is such an ass. She puts it in absolutely the worst way possible.
Oh,
この意味。
we spend the night together.
加藤さん。
Look at this! What the fuck?
わかるって。今までシローの世話をしていたみたいだけど、しばらくは必要ないってことよ。来られても迷惑だし、
Dear
来
Christ.
ない方があなたのためだし。
Oh my god.
She doesn't care. She doesn't
Sakura
care.
looks down and falls silent. After a brief moment of silence, suddenly,
わかりません。
oh no,
私には
heavens feel
先
moment.
輩のおっしゃることがわからないと言いました。
Oh, that's true. Have a few moments.
あ、お邪魔します先輩。お台所お借りしますね。
It's time for the best.
She just says fuck it and goes on anyways. Sakura enters the house with a bow and goes into the living room, ignoring Tohsaka. Your plan failed, you witch. Tohsaka is standing there astonished. The same goes for me too. This is the first time I've seen Sakura act like that, so I don't know what to say. No, that is surprising, but something else was unexpected too.
おい、遠坂。お前、どうして桜が俺ん家に来てるって知ってたんだよ。今まで桜が俺の世話をしてたなんてお前に言った覚えはないぞ。
ああ、それなら前にちょっと小耳に挟んだだけよ。ただの偶然。
Ah, sure, just a
Okay,
coincidence.
okay.
Yeah.
We believe it.
それより驚いたわ。あの子、ここじゃあんなに元気なの？学校とじゃ大違いじゃない。
Dean is definitely not a stalker or anything like that. It must have been really unexpected, as Tohsaka says this with disappointment. I thought Mapo Tofu was going to say something. That must mean Tohsaka knows Sakura pretty well. Sakura seems to have known Tohsaka, so they must have had a friendship I didn't know about. Well, I think that ended today. All that
い
aside,
や、俺も驚いてる。あんなにトゲトゲしい桜は初めて見た。うちに手伝いに来てくれてる時と学校での桜は変わらないよ。今のは。
Where's this tiger?
oh, she's coming.
さくらがあんなに孤児だとは知らなかったわ。
She's the one who's
シロの口から
perverse.
説明させればよかった。
She's right. I would have been able to explain things better than the merciless Tohsaka.
済んだことは仕方がないだろ。それよりまずいって何がだよ。
そりゃまずいでしょう。これからこの家は戦場になるかもしれないのよ。だから私たち以外の人間を寄せつけないようにってさくらをたしなめたのに、 あれじゃ逆に追い出すのが難しくなったじゃない。
I love how instead of trying to explain things to Sakura, Tohsaka just tries to scare her into running away and never coming back.
That's true.
That's a big brain move right there, man.
Pretty
It's like a
effective.
Shirou move.
Dear Lord.
あれでたしなめてたのか。俺はてっきりいじめてるのかと思っ
Same thing.
そこなんかつまんないこと言った今。
Oh, now you're angry.
た。率直な感想だよ。それより
Ah, that sounds like someone.
どうする？あの分じゃ帰ってくれそうにないぞ。
そんなのをなんとかするしかないでしょう。で、さくらが来るのは朝だけ。
Are you using her?
夕食もこき使ってるの？
I mean,
I mean, yeah, she isn't wrong, but still.
誤解を招くような言い方するなよ
she's cooking
な。朝
for
は毎
him.
日だけど、夕飯はそう多くないぞ。
Yeah, man, she eats outside.
そう。
That's a big brain joke right there.
これからは毎日になりそうね。
毎日って何がさ。
Tohsaka sighs at my response. Shirou is unable to understand the basics of human interaction. After that, Tohsaka remains in the living room and Sakura begins to prepare breakfast in the kitchen. I feel uneasy about leaving Sakura and Tohsaka together in the living room, but I'm not stupid enough to forget about Saber. It seems Sakura is angry about Tohsaka being here, so things will only get worse if Saber comes out now.
I think Saber is with Taya now.
Because of that, I decide to explain the situation to Saber.
というわけなんだ。
お
さくら、今うちに来てくれてる子はさくらって言うんだが、さくらは魔術師でもなんでもない普通の子で、聖杯戦争なんかに巻き込むわけにはいかないだろう。できれば知らないままでしばらくうちから離れていてほしいんだが。
Just kill her. No, I didn't come here to consult her on how to get Sakura away from here.
だからだな。今朝のさくらはどうもおかしいんだ。遠坂が原因なんだが、そこに追い打ちをかけるのもどうかと思う。いや、だからさくらは見知らぬ他人がうちにいることに驚いてるんだ。そこにサイバーが出てくるとさらにおかしくなりそうなんだが。
いいえ、シロウの言いたいことはわかります。つまり、私はここで待機していればいいのですね。
I don't think this is a good
そうしてくれ
idea.
ると助かる。さくらを送り出したらすぐに戻ってくるか
I
ら。
mean, they're gonna have to find out at some point, right? Saber can't just stay in the room forever. Plus, she has to eat. Which,
yeah, she has food.
I want you to think about that for a second. Saber has to eat.
I mean, he could try to slip her some food.
No, I just want him to think about it for a second. And that goes for the audience and the people who are reading along. Because that's an interesting little factoid. Saber nods silently. Wow, thank God Saber is so understanding. Alright. I'm worried about the living room too, so I should hurry back there.
シロウ。
なんだ、セイバー。
はい。そのようなことを私に説明する必要はありませんが、もう少し落ち着くべきです。
It's because he's losing
先
his
ほど
shit.
からシロウの言動を破壊しているかと。
慌ててるか？
Yes.
俺。
とても。今に戻るのでしたら、
Oh God.
その前に気を落ち着けることです。
You see, I like Saber because she tells it like it is. Saber advises me in her usual tone. So, the everyday breakfast begins as if nothing has happened.
どうぞ先輩。遠坂先輩もいかがですか？
Sakura is handing out the rice bowls just like her usual self. I don't know what happened while I was gone, but the tension between the two has disappeared.
They're
Well, at
friends,
least
huh?
on the surface.
じゃあ、お言葉に甘えて。
After pondering for a moment, she takes the bowl from Sakura. Sakura smiles and starts to set up the miso soup and other things like fried eggs. Tohsaka watches her with a complex expression.
遠坂。お前、朝飯は食べない主義じゃなかったっけ？
用意されたものは食べるわ。当然の礼儀でしょ、それって。
I don't know what's bothering her, but she glares at me and picks up her chopsticks.
ま、いいならいいか。それじゃ、いただきます。あ、それと、結局支度を任せてすまなかったな。
いえ、これが私の仕事ですから気にしないでください。じゃあ、私もいただきますね。まったく。
This is my job. I do like this.
後輩に朝食作らせるなんてどこの王侯貴族なんだか。まあそれはおいおい問い詰めるとしていただきます。
Yeah, no conversation. It's not that terrible a mood, and anyways, it's always like this during breakfast. Hey, give me a sec. I'll be back.
Okay.
My dog is making weird noises. I have returned.
Okay.
My dog was seeing a ghost, I think. He was barking at the door for no reason.
Maybe he was trying to sing.
Maybe. Maybe he too was feeling the pain that Sakura must be feeling at this time.
I like this image.
It is. It's a
I
nice
like
image.
It is a good contrast between the best girl and the worst girl.
It's a nice dichotomy, you could say.
Oh, what's this? But
Of course.
okay, I will hold myself. I will hold myself.
Sakura and I are in talkative, so it's natural for our meals to be quiet. So why is it that our breakfasts are always so loud? Oh, wait. Hold on. Something's clicking in my head. I'm gonna have to edit this video. Fuck.
お魚の味付け濃かったですか？
いや、そんなことはないけどな。どうもさっきからなんか忘れてる気がする。
What is it? I try to
Maybe say
conclude
something
that,
to Saber?
I try to conclude that if I can't remember it, it can't be important. But I feel like that would be a terrible mistake. I feel uneasy as if I'm ignoring a disease that could kill me if I left untreated.
まあいいか。
I mean, that's a way to put it. I forcefully make myself understand. And then...
おはよう。いやー、寝坊
Oh
しちゃっ
my
て寝坊しち
god.
ゃった。
It's even worse than I imagined. Fujine enters with loud footsteps. I see. It's not that I couldn't remember. I just wanted to postpone the problem by forgetting about it.
シロ、ご飯。
Fujine sits Japanese style in her usual seat.
おはようございます。藤村先生。
The two's greetings are in
soft
strange
tone.
unison.
はい。どうぞ先生。大したものではありませんけど。
Guys, I
召し上
think
がってください。
I think we made it to a bad ending. Shiro's gonna die today.
Fuck.
Sakura gives
So-
her a pull with her
It's just
usual
because-
smile.
It's just because of the first choice that going with Sayaka and then
Indeed.
Well,
Going with
it's-
Sakura in the first day was the worst mistake we ever made.
Guess we reached the ending.
We should have played with Fujine.
that's it.
She takes the bowl and tilts her head. She knows something is wrong, but she can't tell what it is. Fujine quietly starts to eat, and after finishing one bowl of rice, she quietly whispers in my ear.
ねえ、シロ、どうして遠坂さんがいるの？
Fuck.
それは今日からうちに下宿することになっ
And
た。
Shirou just says it. I explain things to her truthfully.
あ、そうなの。遠坂さんも変わったことするのね。
うん。あいつ結構変わり者だ。
Yeah,
ここじゃ猫かぶってる。
everything is fine.
そっか。今日からこ
Just
こ
a
に
normal
下宿するのか。
Just a normal day. She understands and takes a sip of her miso soup.
Shirou too? What the fuck? Okay.
That was the nuclear attack. Oh no!
Noble phantoms.
The table is
Oh,
thrown
no.
up. She's Archer. She's breaking his house.
It's
Fortunately,
the fire from 10 years ago all over again.
Fortunately, Sakura is on the other side, and Tohsaka has already moved out of the way, so it seems I'm the only victim.
何すんだよ藤手。味噌汁だぞ、炊きたてのご飯だぞ、つくね煮込んだ鍋物だぞ。こんなもんかけられたら熱いだろって。なぜに朝っぱらから鍋物だぞ。
うるさ
そ何考えてるのよシロ。
It's not a comedy, it's a tragedy. We didn't want any of
ラ
this.
ブコメない私はそんなタチの悪い冗談じゃ笑ってやらないんだから。
笑いを取るつもりなんかねえってば。てかやけどする。さくらタオルくれタオル。
The burns he never got 10 years ago, he's finally gonna get because of Tohsaka.
さっき助かれ。うわ襟元からつくねが必要以上に加熱されたつくねが。
タオルは後。そんなことより申し開きしなさいシロ。あんた本気でそんなこと言ってるの？
This is such a disaster.
そんなの当たり前だ。俺がこの手の冗談苦手だって知ってるだろ。とにかく遠坂はうちに止めるんだ。文句は聞くけど変更はしないから言うだけ無駄だぞ。
そんなの大却下。何のつもりか知らないけどダメに決まってるでしょ。同い年の女の子と一緒に暮らすなんてそんなのお姉ちゃん許しません。
Fujine roars. Well, I guessed it. Fujine is my guardian and a school teacher. I don't think I can escape such a situation with merely 100 beatings from the Shinai or even from a real sword. But I guess you could say it's ill fortune that I have to push through with this.
いやそこをなんとか。別にやましい気持ちなんてないし、遠坂とはそういう関係でもないんだ。ただたまたま事故に遭ったっていうか、成り行きで部屋を貸すことになっただけなんだってば。
うるさーい。ダメなものはダメなの。私は下宿なんて許しません。遠坂さんの事情は知らないけどちゃっちゃと帰ってもらいなさい。
Damn, she won't even listen. Crap, I guess she isn't someone I can convince. We need the Tohsaka power.
先生、下宿は許しませんとおっしゃいますけど。
Oh no, she's making it worse!
I love Tohsaka.
And then Tohsaka says those words like pouring cold water on Fujine. Oh no.
ですから昨日止めさせていただいたんです。いいえ、正確には土曜の夜からお邪魔していますから2泊でした。今は別棟の客間を借りて荷物も運んであります。どうでしょう先生、客観的に見て私はもう下宿している状況なのですが。
She really hates Shirou.
She wants Shirou to die immediately. It's all her strategy to win the war.
Yeah.
That's true.
She's trying to get Saber to go away. Fujine's face goes pale.
シロ、
Oh my god,
なんて
she's so
ことする
cute.
のよ。こんなことキリツグさんが知ったらどうなるか分かってるの？
どうなるかって親父だったら間違いなく喜ぶぞ。男の解消とかなんとか言って。
I mean, Kiritsugu would say that.
同感。キリツグさん、女の子にはとことん甘い人だったからな。それが遺伝してるんでしょ、シローのバカ。
I love Fujine's voice actress. She's amazing. Fujine grabs my collar and shakes me around. While the inheritance aside, it was father's belief that girls should be protected. I don't go around telling people that like father did, but I do believe he was right. But,
何？助け舟出してほしいの？
I think a man would have to be tough to recognize that cold-hearted person as a girl.
頼む。俺じゃ現状を打破できない。大阪の戦士手腕に期待する。
Oh my god, I say while being shaken.
オッケー。それじゃあサクッと解決し
Why is he having Tohsaka solve this? She's only gonna make it worse.
藤村先生、エミヤ君を振っても出るのは悲鳴だけですから、そのあたりでやめてあげてください。それに下手をすると朝ごはんまで出てきかねません。何よ遠坂さん、そんな真面目な顔したって怖くないんだから。教師として何よりシローの教育係として遠坂さんの下宿は認めません。
Fujine lets go of me and confronts Tohsaka. It must be her natural instincts. She must have thought Tohsaka would get her if she kept concentrating on me.
それはなぜでしょうか。うちの学校には下宿している生徒も少なくありません。
生徒の自主性を伸ばすのが我が校の方針ではありませんでしたか？何よ、難しいこと言ったってダメなんだから。大体ですね、こんなところに下宿したって自主性なんて芽生えません。ご飯は勝手に出てくる、いつも綺麗、お風呂は勝手に沸いてるっていう夢のようなお家なんだから。こんなところに居候してたら堕落しきっちゃうわよ、遠坂さん。
You'll get no independence. You'll become just like me. That statement is problematic coming from a teacher.
それにね、原則として下宿していい生徒は家が遠い生徒だけよ。遠坂さんのお家、確かにここより遠いけど登校できない場所じゃないでしょう。さくらちゃんだってあっちから通ってるんだから下宿する必要なんてありません。それが今うちは全面的な改装を行っているんです。
Yeah, this black priest just made a hole in my ceiling and
古い建物ですからそこかしこにガタが来てしまっていて、改装が終わるまではホテルで暮らそうと考えていたのですが、偶然通りかかってエミヤ君に相談したところ、それはお金がもったいないからうちを使えばいいと言ってくれたんです。
even when she's trying to help, she makes it sound like Shiro's fault. It's impressive.
それは確かに白っぽい発言ね。はい、あまり面識のないエミヤ君からの提案には驚いたのですが、確かにホテル暮らしなんてもったいないし、何より学生らしくありません。それなら学友であるエミヤ君のお家にご厄介になった方が勉強になると思ったのです。
Fujine groans. Since Tohsaka's answer and attitude are so student-like, it seems that, as a teacher, supposedly, Fujine cannot object.
話はわかりましたけど、それでも問題はあるでしょ。遠坂さんと四郎は女の子と男の子なんだから、一つ屋根の下で暮らすというのはどうかと思うわ。
Taiga, Shiro barely qualifies as a human.
どうかとはどんなことでしょうか、先生。
Irene is a devil.
Indeed.
だからね、遠坂さん美人だし、四郎もなんだかんだって男の子だし、間違いがあったら嫌だなって。何も間違いはありません。私の部屋は別棟の隅、エミヤ君の部屋は蔵の近くにある和室です。
If he tried anything, she would kill
20
him.
メートル以上離れているじゃないですか。
That's true.
That is not
ここ
even
ま
a
で
joke.
離れていれば何も問題はないと思いますか？うん。別棟には鍵もかかるし、違う家みたいなものだけど。でしょ？それとも藤村先生はエミヤ君を信用していないとでも？先ほど先生はエミヤ君の教育係だとおっしゃいました。ならエミヤ君がどのような性格かは私より藤村先生の方がご存知だと思います。
Still psychic as fuck.
シロはちゃんとしてるもん。絶対女の子を泣かせるような子じゃないんだから。
Aww.
なら安心でしょ。私もエミヤ君を信用していますから。ここなら安心して下宿できると思ったのです。
Fujimura is defeated. The intensity in Fujine disappears. I guess it's decided now. There are lots of things to follow up, but I bet Tohsaka can get through those. So I guess Tohsaka officially has citizenship in my house now. And so breakfast ends. As expected, Fujine gave in after being talked down by Tohsaka. In conclusion, we decided to try to keep it a secret at school and to have Fujine look after us at home. With that decided, and with more people around the house, Fujine happily goes to school. We finish breakfast and I go to talk to Saber before I leave. Saber, as expected, calmly says,
学校ではリンの指示に従うよ。
"Oh my
危
god."
険が迫った時、私を必要としてください。それでマスターの異常は感じ取れますから。
Holy shit.
And she goes back to her room.
Father Seven say that his master has to obey another
Another master.
who-
To stay alive. Saber knows exactly who her master is. And it's time
That's
to
a
go to
pretty,
school.
pretty bad situation.
それじゃあ行きましょうか。この辺りの道は不慣れなんだから、学校までの近道
She's
ぐら
so
い教えてよ
gentle.
ね。
It's inspiring. Beside me is Tohsaka in her school uniform. The feeling is fading, but having Tohsaka in her uniform makes me tense. I can't stay calm going to school with the prettiest girl in school, and on top of that,
先輩、戸締まりできました。
Sakura is with us today. As a member of the archery club, Sakura usually goes to school with Fujine. But she stayed in the living room today and was waiting for me to clean up after breakfast and to go to school.
何？さくらに鍵持たせてるの？
持たせてるよ。さくらは悪いことなんてしないし、ずっと世話になってるからな。まあ、その分でいくと遠坂にはやれないが、別に構わないだろ。
それは構わないけど、どういう意味よそれ？
悪いことするだろ。
Oh no.
それにお前、鍵なんかなくても困らないんじゃないのか？
It's because
必
Sakura
要
is
ない
the
ものを作
best
るほ
girl.
ど水郷じゃないぞ、これ。
Sakura is the worst girl.
はあ、そう
This is
ですか。
gonna be flame wars for years now.
シロの言う通り、これっぽっちもい
For
ら
the
ないわよ
next
そんなも
7
の。
months, as we read through the slog that is Fate Stay Night, everyone is gonna be talking about how Sakura is bad and Rin is
I
great.
mean,
Sakura is the
it's
best
not my
girl.
fault that some people can't recognize the obvious.
Tohsaka looks away. Maybe I'm just getting used to it, but I'm starting to think this gesture of Tohsaka's is interesting too.
どうしたさくら？戸締まりができたのなら行こう。
I mean, Sakura certainly thinks she's the best girl.
今朝は遠坂もいるし、できるだけ早めに行きたいんだ。
Because he is.
そうですね。先輩がそう言うのなら、そうします。
She has no free will.
Sakura says so in a dispirited voice and follows after us. Geez, Sakura has looked somewhat cheerless ever since Fujine lost to Tohsaka this morning. Fujine assented, but Sakura must not have.
ちゃんと話さないとダメかな。
No, don't. Please don't. That's right. I'll need to find an opportunity as quickly as I can and make Tohsaka and Sakura be friends. That's not gonna happen, guys. I'm sorry. The hill road is full of students. It's past 7:30 in the morning. This is the time most students go to school. So it's natural for me not to be met with odd stares if I'm walking with people who stand out so much. Did she forget something? Tohsaka has been quiet like this for a while now.
どうした遠坂？なんか坂道あたりから様子が変だぞ。
やっぱり変？今朝の私。
いや、別に変じゃないが。
Stop lying, Shirou. She's weird as fuck.
先輩、その説明は矛盾してます。遠坂先輩が聞いているのはそういうことじゃないと思いますけど。
何を聞きたがってるって言うんだよ、遠坂。
ですから遠坂先輩は周りから見られているからどこか自分の姿がおかしいのではと思ってるんですよね。そうだけどやっぱり桜から見ても変？
I too would be surprised if Tohsaka had friends.
おかしいな。今朝は眠いながらもちゃんとブローしたし制服だってシワ一つないと思うんだけど、やっぱり慣れない家で寝たもんだから目にクマでもできてるってわけ？
なんでそこで俺に怒鳴る？遠坂が寝られないのは俺のせいじゃないし、仮にそのせいで遠坂の目にクマができていたとしても大したことじゃない。
何失礼なこと言ってるのよ。女ってのは生まれた時から自分の身だしなみを気にするものなの。もう今まで外見だけは完璧でいようって繕ってきたのに、それも今日でおしまいってことかしらね。
When you start walking with Shirou, your life is over, man.
だから
It's just the way
な
it
んで
is.
俺を見て怒鳴るんだよ。
That's what happens when you walk with a loser.
なんで遠坂が変なのかは知らないが、間違いなくそれは俺のせいじゃない。八つあたりはよそでやってくれ。
違いますよ、遠坂先輩。先輩は今日も綺麗です。みんなが遠坂先輩を見ているのは私たちと一緒だからです。何？その程度のことでこんな扱いを受けるわけ？侮れないわね。10年も通ってれば学校なんてマスターしたつもりでいたけど、謎はまだ残ってたわけか。
Tohsaka ponders seriously. What kind of a person are you to just ignore praise like you're beautiful as always?
わかんないやつだな。遠坂が誰かと投稿すれば騒ぎになるのは当然じゃないか。
ですね。けど遠坂先輩、そういうの気にしない人なんです。だから今まで浮いた話一つなかったんですよ。
そりゃよかった。外見に騙されて泣きを見た犠牲者は今のところ一人だけってことだからね。
I talk secretly with Sakura while following Tohsaka, who has a puzzled expression. We go through the gate, still with people staring at us. We will be going our separate ways once we enter the building, so I only need to endure the stairs for a bit longer.
朝から頭痛いのがやってきちゃったな。
Jesus Christ, Issei. Tohsaka murmurs. Before her is a familiar face coming through the students.
Sakura!
Oh no, it's Shinji.
Oh fuck this shit.
Sakura trembles a little. Shinji must not see us as he goes straight to Sakura.
どうして道場に来ないんだ。お前、僕に断りもなく休むなんて。
Fuck you,
何
Shinji.
様なわけ？
Kill him, please.
You ass. Shinji raises his hand. I...
よし、シンジ。朝練ご苦労様だな。
Hey man, looking good.
Punch him.
Catch his hand and greet him.
エミヤ。
Fuck you, man.
お前。そうか。またエミヤのうちに行ってたのか。
Come on, Tohsaka, be useful now.
先輩のところにお手伝いに行っていました。けどそれは
後輩としての義務だって。まったく。泥臭いなお前は。勝手に怪我したやつなんて構うことないだろ。いいから、お前は僕の言う通りにしてればいいんだよ。
Shinji lowers his hand. I have no reason to hold his hand if he's not going to hit Sakura, so I let it go.
しかしなんだね。そこまでうちの邪魔して楽しいわけエミヤ。さくらは弓道部の部員なんだからさ。無理やり朝練をサボらせるような真似しないでくれないか。
I can't object against that. I mean, sure you can. You can punch him in the face. Since I haven't stopped Sakura from coming to make breakfast, that does mean I'm restricting Sakura's time in the morning.
そんなことありません。私は好きで先輩のお手伝いをしているだけです。ミさん、今のは言い過ぎなんじゃないですか？
言い過ぎだって？それはお前の方だよ、さくら。エミヤが一人住まいだからなんだって言うんだ。別に一人でいいって言うんだからさ、一人にしてやればいいんだよ。
ミさん、やだ。今のはひどいよ。
まあいい。今日でエミヤの家に行くのはやめろよ、さくら。僕が来いって言ったのに部活に来なかったんだ。そのくらいの罰は受ける覚悟があったんだろう。
Sakura gasps and freezes. Shinji tries to grab Sakura forcefully.
おはよう、マトウ君。黙って聞いていたんだけど、なかなか面白い話だったわ、今の。
トサカ、お前、なんでさくらといるんだよ。
別に意外でも何でもないでしょう。さくらさんはエミヤ君と知り合い、私はエミヤ君と知り合い。だから今朝は3人で一緒に登校してきたんだけど、気づかなかった？
エミヤと知り合い？
ええ、きっとこれからも一緒に学校に来て一緒に下校するぐらいの知り合いだから、さくらさんとも付き合っていこうかなって思ってるわ。
エミヤとだって。
Oh no, she's making everything much worse. Shinji glares at me. I must be just imagining that I felt more than enmity there. Well, I haven't been doing well with Shinji lately, but I don't remember anything to make him resent me that much.
そんなバカな。冗談がきついな、遠坂は。君がエミヤなんかと付き合うわけないじゃないか。ああ、そうか。君、勘違いしてるんだろう。そりゃ確かに、ちょっと前までエミヤとは友達だったけど、今は違うんだ。
Yes,
もうエミヤと僕は無関係だから。
Certainly.
あまりメリットはないんだぜ。
Certainly, Tohsaka wants to be with you through Emiya. That's a solid plan.
そうなの？よかった。それを聞いて安心したわ。あなたのことなんてちっとも興味がなかったから。
Yikes. I pity Shinji. You shouldn't. If that was me, it would be a traumatic enough that I wouldn't recover for a while.
お前。
それとマトウ君、さっきの話だけど、弓道部の朝練は自主参加のはずよ。欠席の許可が必要だなんて話は聞いてないわ。そんな規則、私はもちろん綾子や藤村先生も聞いてないでしょうね。
うるさいな。兄貴が妹に何をしようが勝手だろう。いちいち人の家の事情に首を突っ込むな。
それは同感ね。だからあなたもエミヤ君の家のことをあれこれ言うのは筋違いじゃない？まったく、こんな朝から校庭で騒がしいわよ、マトウ君。
Shinji takes a step back and glares at me and Sakura.
わかった。今朝の件は許してやる。けどさくら、次はないからな。今度何かあったら、その時は自分の立場ってやつをよく思い知らせてやる。
Fuck you, Shinji.
Saying what he wants, Shinji runs away to the school building. Like a fucking weasel. Yeah, he definitely ran away after losing to Tohsaka.
ごめんなさい、先輩。兄さんがその失礼なことを言ってしまって。
A little bit more than that. She must be apologizing to Tohsaka as well.
朝からいい運動になったわ。頭のギアがスパッと上がったし、ようやく調子が出てきたもの。それに謝るのは私の方だし、ちょっとやりすぎだったわよね、今の。あいつだって立場があるんだし、ほら、みんなの前でああいうのってしちゃダメだって言うじゃない？
Doing this kind of thing only makes the other person more angry, so she could be making things worse for Sakura in the end.
マトウ君が落ち込んでたら後でフォローしてあげて。これに懲りずにまた突っかかってきてもいいって。
No, don't.
兄さんが懲りていなければまたお相手をしてあげてください、先輩。
Sakura must be relieved as she smiles cheerfully. Tohsaka is looking away bashful.
先輩もできれば怒らないであげてください。兄さん、先輩しか友達いないから。
分かってるよ。怒るなっていうのは無理だけど、シンジはああいうやつだってのは知り合った時から知ってる。ま、なんかの拍子でまた付き合いが深くなるのは目に見えてるしさ。
You really shouldn't, you know, you can just call the cops. I mean, I'm sure they'll take care of him. Sakura bows. Yeah. If I do get really mad at Shinji, it'll be because he's not satisfied with such a wonderful sister.
それじゃあ先輩、今日も一日頑張りましょうね。
Sakura goes to the first year hallway. We walk up the stairs and enter the second year hallway and... Oh, there you go. Run into the student council president. Dear Christ.
Betrayal, huh?
Betrayal! I see you. You're full of enmity too, for a different reason.
あら、おはよう竜道くん。朝からハウアとはご挨拶ね。
目覚めから嫌な予感がしたが、まさか案件札とはな。 ねえ、いいからこっちに来い、エミヤ。Tohsakaの
She
近くにいたら
enjoys
毒が
ending
来る。
friendships.
毒が。
Issei forcefully pulls on my hand. After looking silently at us, Tohsaka heads to Class 2A as if nothing happened.
行くがいい。
Oh
誰
my
も食べは
god.
しないからな。
Tohsaka silently passes by us. And then
シロ、昼休みに屋上。
she is just his boss, isn't she? She mutters that so Issei would not be able to hear it. Issei's a hero. Where was he yesterday when we needed him? It's lunchtime. Since the events of this morning, Issei has avoided me, treating me like a traitor. Oh, fuck.
悪乗りしすぎたか。
I contemplate my actions for a moment. He asked me why I was with Tohsaka this
休
morning.
みの間に親密になったんだ。
Oh my god, man. Why do you say these things? Answering like that was bad. No fucking shit. I think the problem is how we became close, but I couldn't explain that and Issei walked away dizzily.
まあちょうどいいか。しばらくは一人でいろいろやらなくちゃいけないからな。
It's good to have less people involved. Well, what I should do right now is very well.
Meet Tohsaka.
Explain Sakura.
Oh my
Never.
lord.
Let's go and meet
Explain
Tohsaka.
things to No, go and meet Tohsaka. He will not do a good explanation to Sakura.
He would also, you know, get
I mean,
murdered by
fuck
Tohsaka.
No, Sakura's the best girl, but he will just fuck everything up.
Exactly. Like he would get killed by Tohsaka immediately. They have that promise
Tohsaka is
with Tohsaka.
useful. She can help us. Sakura cannot.
Sakura can help us.
She can.
No, she can't. It's useless.
She is very hungry for help. It was a unilateral statement, but she must have done that. She must have something to talk about if she called for me. I buy my lunch and go to the rooftop. It's usually packed with students, but not in this cold winter air. Even though the winter in Fuyuki City is warm, the coldness at the rooftop is unbearable. The only ones on the rooftop are me and,
遅い。何のんびりしてるのよ、シロ。
Jesus fucking Christ, Tohsaka shivering under cover.
遅れたのは悪かったと思ってる。思ってるんで差し入れを持ってきたんだが、その様子じゃいらないか。
I take the coffee I bought at the stand and put it in my pocket.
あんた、朴突な顔して結構気が利くのね。
ただの気まぐれだよ。ほら、もうちょっとそっち行けよ。ここだと風が当たるし、人目につくだろ。
Shirou knows the secret to winning over women is your food. I pass Tohsaka and hand her the coffee. Here, nobody should find us right away, and we won't be seen from the windows on the 4th floor.
ありがとう。次は紅茶にしてね。私、インスタントならミルクティーだから。それ以外はありがたみがランクダウンするから注意するべし。
はいよ。次まで覚えていたらな。それよりなんだよ。こんなところに呼び出して。人気がない場所を選ぶあたり、そっちの話だと思うけど。
当然でしょ。私とシローの間で他にどっちの話があるっていうのよ。
ああ、それはそうだな。
Why did she blush?
どんな話なんだ。
Because she knows, man. She knows she's
何よ
next.
ずいぶんクールじゃないあなた。
まあ寒いからな。できるだけ手短に済ませたい。Tohsakaはそうでもないのか。
I think Tohsaka just feels like she should be getting, you know, that enamored look from Shirou, and she's just not getting it because he can see through her shit. So she's like, man,
そんなわけないでしょ。私だってさっさと要件だけ済ませるつもりに決まってるじゃない。
yeah, I thought so. It's obvious, so she doesn't have to yell about it.
まあいいわ。それじゃあ担当直入に聞くけどシロ、あなた放課後はどうするつもり？
放課後？あ、いや、別にこれといって予定はないよ。生徒会の手伝い事があったら手伝うし、なかったらバイトに出るし。なんだよ、 その露骨に呆れた顔は。言いたいことがあるならはっきり言ってくれ。できるだけ直すから。
まったく、あなたがどうなろうと私は構わないんだけど、まあ一つだけ忠告してあげるか。今は協力関係なんだし、シローは魔術師として未熟すぎるから。
またそれか。魔術師として未熟だっていうのはもう耳にタコだ。
いじめてなんていないわよ。ただシローが学校の結界に気づいてないようだから未熟だって言ってるの。
Boundary field around the school.
待て、学校の結界ってそれはまさか。
まさかも何も他のマスターが張った結界だってば。かなり広範囲に仕組まれた結界でね。発動すれば学校の敷地をほぼ包み込む。種別は結界内にいる人間から血肉を奪うタイプ。まだ準備段階のようだけど、それでもみんなに元気がないって気づかなかった？
Come to think of it, I felt a bit strange on Saturday, but that was it. But was that it? Then that must mean.
つまり学校にマスターがいる。
そう、確実に敵が潜んでいるってわけ。分かったエミヤ君。そのあたり覚悟しておかないと死ぬわよ、あなた。
I think she's talking about herself.
My relaxed feelings go tense.
それでそのマスターが誰かは分かっているのか。
It is me.
当たりはついてるけどまだ確証が取れてない。
It is I.
まあうちの学校にはもう一人魔術師がいるってことは知ってたけど、
It's Taiga.
魔術師イコールマスターってわけじゃないから。あなたみたいな素人がマスターになる場合もあるんだし、断定はできないわ。
俺は素人じゃない。
No, you're not. Shut
ち
the
ゃんとした
fuck
魔
up.
術師だ。待ったトーサカ、魔術師ならもう一人いるって。
そうよ。けどそいつからマスターとしての気配は感じないのよね。真っ先に調べ
Oh
に行ったけど、
yeah. I
レ
wonder
イジがなけれ
why.
ばサーバントの気配もなかった。よっぽどうまく気配を隠しているなら別だけど、まずそいつはマスターじゃないわ。だからこの学園に潜んでいるマスターはシロみたいに半端に魔術を知っている人間だと思う。ここのところさ、微量だけど私たち以外の魔力を後者に感じるのよ。それが敵マスターの気配ってわけなんだけど。
But it's too small of an amount to detect the source, huh?
魔術師ではないマスターか。トーサカが断定するからには相当な確信があるんだろう。それは信じるけど、そうか。うちの学校そんなに魔術師がいたのか。
そんなにって私とその子だけだって。魔術師ってのは家柄を大事にするでしょ。こんな狭い地域に2つの家系が根を張った場合。
そうなのか。けど俺はトーサカの家のことを知らなかったけどな。
エミヤくんちは特別。エミヤくんのお父さん、教会から離反した一匹狼だったんでしょうね。たまたまこの町が気に入って根を下ろしたんだろうけど、冬季の町はうちの管轄だからさ。
Which means that technically, if Idine wanted to get Shirou killed for not being a member of the association, she could.
私たちにバレたらもらうものもらうことになるし、それが嫌で隠れてたんじゃないかな。
なんだよ、そのもらうものもらうって不穏な発言は。
気になる？それは将来シローが一人前になったら取り立てに行くから期待してて。
まったく本当に猫かぶってやがったんだな。何が学校一の優等生だ。
あら、いけない？外見を飾るのだって魔術師としての義務でしょ。ほら、私は遠坂家の跡取りだし、火の打ちどころのない優等生じゃないと。
That's a sad smile. I feel pity for her.
I mean, her situation is really bad. She does all these things and tries to pretty herself up in every way possible, mostly because she's alone, and she feels all
she's
this
pretty
responsibility for her dad, which to her was a perfect guy. I mean, you know.
I mean, Tokiyama was a nice dude.
I mean, he was, and he was a very successful at what he was doing as a magus. So.
A great father.
父さんって父さん
Uh,
私が子供の頃死んじゃった。
he died about 10 years
十分
ago.
長生きしたから年寿は全うしたん
Would
だ
you
し
look at that?
別に悲しんだりはしてないけど
Tohsaka smiles as if saying that's how a child with a magus father should be. But that's
それは嘘だ。人が死んだら悲しいだろ。それが肉親ならなおさらだ。魔術師だから仕方がないなんて言葉でごまかせるものじゃない。
まあそうね。エミヤ君の意見は反論できないぐらい正しいわ。
saying that Tohsaka opens the can she's been using as a heat source. She takes small sips of the coffee. From what I know of her, I thought she would gulp it down, but she's really feminine when it comes to things like this.
話を戻すけど、ともかく冬木の町に魔術師は2人しかいないの。他のマスターは外からやってきた連中か。魔術をかじった程度でマスターに選ばれたっていう変わり種でしょうね。
I see. According to Tohsaka, I'm weird too.
それは分かった。けどさ、半端に魔術をかじっただけのマスターならこの結界は張れないんじゃないのか。
Sure.
マスターが張ったんじゃなくてサーバントが張ったのかもね。
Precisely.
サーバントは自分のマスターを選べないもの。シローみたいなマスターに当たってしまった場合、サーバント自身がいろいろ策を練るしか勝機はないでしょ。
だろうな。気に障るけど反論しようがないんでうなずいとくよ。
はい、素直で結構。で、結界の話に戻すけど、この結界はすごく高度よ。ほとんど魔法の領域だし、こんなの張れる魔術師だったらまず自分の魔力を隠しきれない。だから間違いなくこの結界はサーバントの仕業だと思う。
サーバントの仕業か。ならマスター自身はそう物騒なやつじゃないのかな。
まさか魔術師にしろ一般人にしろ、そいつはルールが分かってないやつよ。
ルールがわからないって聖杯戦争のルールをか。
違う、人間としてのルール。こんな結界を作らせる時点でそいつは自分ってものが分かってない。いいシロ、この結界はね、発動したら最後結界内の人間を一人残らず溶解して私たちは生き物の胃の中にいるようなものなの。魔力で自分自身を守っている私たちには効果はないだろうけど、魔力を持たない人間ならわけもわからないうちに衰弱死しかねない。
It's pretty grim.
一般人を巻き込むどころの話じゃないわ。この結界が起動したら学校中の人間は皆殺しにされるのよ。わかる？こういうふざけた結界を準備させるやつがこの学校にいるマスターなの。
My vision blurs for a bit. Trying to comprehend what Tohsaka is saying, I take a deep breath. That's it. Even though my understanding is incomplete, I imagine the worst possibility and engrave that image inside me, accepting the situation I am in.
話は分かった。それでトーサカ、その結界とやらは壊せないのか。
試したけど無理だった。結界の規定は全部探したんだけど、それを消去できないのよ。私にできるのは一時的に規定を弱めて結界の発動を先延ばしにするだけよ。
じゃあトーサカがいる限り結界は張られない？
そう願いたいけど、それも都合のいい願いでしょうね。もう結界は張られていて、発動のための魔力は少しずつ溜まってきている。アーチャーの見立てだとあと8日程度で準備が整うとか。
So we have about a week to figure out what the fuck is going on and who's doing this.
そうなったらマスターかサーバントかどちらかがその気になればこの学校は地獄になる。
じゃあそれまでに。
この学校に潜んでいるマスターを倒すしかない。けど探すのは難しいでしょうね。この結界を張られた時点でそいつの勝ちみたいなものだもの。あとは黙ってても結界は発動するんだから、その時まで表には出てこない。だからチャンスがあるとしたら
表に出てくるその時だけってことか。
ご名答。まあそういうわけだから今はおとなしくしてなさい。その時になったら家でも戦うことになるんだし。
The first bell echoes through the cold rooftop. Lunch break is over.
話はそれだけ。私はやるところがあるから家には一人で帰って。より
Tohsaka leaves saying, "See ya." There's no way I'm feeling good. There's no way I can have a calm mind after finding out what that the talk of masters only attacking other masters was pointless.
学校に結界。
Is he planning to drag innocent people into this? That's not the work of a master at all, but a mass murderer. I have to find him before the boundary field is activated. Find him and defeat him completely.
喜べエミヤシロ。君の願いは。
I shake my head and deny the words I remember. I can't wish for something like that. A wish for a villain to defeat, that's not my wish. The end of school homeroom ends, and students start to disappear from the classroom. I would normally go to the student council room, but since Tohsaka told me to go straight home, I should do so. Holy shit, are we actually going to finish a day? The gate is still locked.
こんなに早く帰ってきたのなんて久しぶりだ。
I usually help someone out or go to work, so it's rare for me to come home straight home. Usually the gate would be open and Sakura would be preparing dinner inside when I got home. Maybe I've grown so accustomed to it after a year that I've forgotten how important it was. I realize how grateful I am for Sakura just by the simple action of opening a locked gate.
Tadaima.
I call out and step into the hallway. As I try to enter the living room, the blonde-haired girl appears.
帰ったのですね、マスター。
The girl looks straight at me. For a moment, all sense of reality crumbles on me.
シロ、今帰ってきたのではないのですか？
Perhaps the surprise transferred to the girl as she says this with a bit of surprise. She calls my name in a quiet voice. That finally returns my sense of reality.
セイバーだよな。あれ、いきなりなんで驚いた。
Just for an instant, I mistook her for a normal girl.
私はマスターの指示に従ってここに待機していたのですが、間違っていましたか？
ああ、いや、こっちの勘違いだから気にしないでくれ。それより体の方はいいのか、セイバー。頻繁に眠るって言ってたけど、今はその
起きていても支障はありません。いえ、可能な限り戦闘時以外は眠っていた方がいいのですが、定期的に目覚めて体を動かしていなければ、いざという時に動きが鈍ります。
そっか、言われてみればその通りだ。人間一日中寝てたら頭が痛くなるし、セイバーだって眠くて眠ってるわけじゃないんだし。
そうですね。眠りを必要とする疲れはありません。ですがシロ、あなたは眠りすぎると頭を痛くするのですか？
痛くなるだろう、そりゃ。普通一日の半分も寝てたら体の調子を悪くするって。俺の場合は頭が痛くなって目が覚めるから半日も眠ってられないけどさ。
不思議な話ですね。私はそのようなことはありませんでした。今も昔も眠ろうと思えばいくらでも眠れますし。
それはなんか生き物として間違ってると思うぞ、セイバー。一日中寝てるなんてもったいない。眠気が取れたら起きて遊んでいた方が楽しいだろ。
That's a really weird sentence.
そうですね。確かにその方が無駄はありません。
Look, they're having an actual conversation. Holy shit.
今は俺のせいでそうなっちまったけど、 俺から縁が切れたら普通の生活サイクルに戻れよ。俺が言えることじゃないけどさ、これが癖になって一日中寝てたらぐうたらなやつだなんて思われるから。
それはすでに手遅れかもしれません。私は皆にそう思われていたかもしれない。
This is so cute. They're actually having a conversation. Like two normal people. She creases her brow and ponders. It was just lighthearted, but it seems like Saber doesn't get normal jokes. It's good to see that Shirou is finally moving past his ridiculous lack of self-awareness. We move into the living room. It seems Saber wants to know what happened today, so I decide to tell her about the boundary field at school that Tohsaka told me about.
そうですか。学校に集まる人間を生贄にするつもりなのですね。
率直に言えばそういうことだろう。登坂はまだまだ時間がかかるとは言っていたけど。
同感です。それほど大規模な結界の完成には時間がかかる。学校の校舎というものは封鎖しやすい建物ですから、それだけの規模な結界を完璧に起動させるには早くて10日は必要です。
10日。俺が異常を感じたのが2日前の土曜日だから、まだ8日は猶予があるってことか。登坂の見込みと同じだな。はい。
その結界が生贄を集めるものであれ、守りを固めるものであれ、完成させては厄介です。それまでに結界を張ったマスターを見つけ出せれば良いのですが。
そうだな。登坂は難しいって言ってたけど、学校に潜んでいる以上は特定しやすいはずだ。なんとか見つけ出して結界を止めさせよう。
The instant they think of setting up a boundary field at school, they must be someone associated with the school, a student or a teacher. I'll try to search the school as thoroughly as possible during our lunch tomorrow, from tomorrow on, and try to find anyone suspicious.
あとは、そうか、そいつがどんなサーバントを連れているかっていう問題か。
No, that'll only be clear when I actually encounter it. Then I should think about a servant I have already encountered. Saber is awake right now, so this would be a good time to ask. All right then. Ooh, we have another choice.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
I mean... Okay. We know about Lancer and Berserker's identities, so... But
I don't think Saber will know anything about Archer, but if you want...
I don't think...
I mean, Saber might know something about Lancer. She mentioned knowing exactly who he is. So.
Yeah. But I think
Maybe.
Saber knows too who is the Berserker. Maybe. For some
No,
reason.
Ilya said he was Heracles.
Oh, okay, that's true. And Mia doesn't know who is Lancer, right?
He doesn't.
Okay, so I think it should be better about Lancer.
Yeah, let's ask about Lancer.
Yeah.
Indeed, my boy Satanta. That guy. I'll ask about the first servant I encountered, Lancer. Saber fought with him, and it seems she realized who he was.
なあ、セイバー。ランサーのことなんだけど、あいつは何者なのかわかるか？
あ、ランサーのことですか？
なあ、セイバーがあいつを追い返してくれたとき、何か言っていたじゃないか。アイルランドのなんとかとか。だからもしかしてセイバーはあいつの正体に気づいているのかなって。
ああ、そういうことですか。驚きました。シローが他のサーバントの正体を知りたがるとは思っていなかったもので。
知らなくちゃやっていけないって話だからな。けどなんでそこで嬉しそうなんだよ、セイバーは。
シローが戦う気になっているからです。正体を知った相手ならば対策が立てられる。まず弱点が分かった相手から仕留めるのは戦いの常道ですから。
I think we made Saber happy.
Yeah.
I have no intention of going out to fight someone who isn't attacking me, but it'd only end the conversation if I said that now.
まあいいから、ランサーの正体。今の口ぶりだと知ってるんだな。
はい。 あの構想と全身に帯びたルーンの守り、加えて戦いではなく生き延びることに特化した能力から言って間違いはないでしょう。彼の神名は空風林、魔装ゲイボルクを操るアイルランドの大英雄です。
空風林
Chulainn. It's a name I've never heard before. Well, I don't know much about Irish mythology, so I guess that's only natural.
で強いのか、その空風林ってやつは。
この国では知名度が低いですから存在が劣化していますが、それでも十分すぎる能力です。こと敏捷性に関してならば他の追随を許さないでしょうし、彼の宝具はこの戦いに最も適した武器だと思います。
The most beautiful part is war. Why?
Because it's very efficient.
Okay.
ああ、あの槍か。そういえばあいつの槍、最後に変な動きを見せたけど、あれがゲイボルクってやつなのか。
おそらくはゲイボルクの伝承は諸説あります。曰く足で投擲する呪いの槍だとか、貫いた瞬間に内部から線のトゲを生やして
Which is
相手
funny
を絶命させる魔装だとか。
because in Stay Night, Lancer doesn't have to throw it with his legs, and it doesn't have the barbs. So
It'll be epic though.
it would be pretty cool. And actually, I've read somewhere that when Skaha uses Gay Bolga in Grand Order, she jumps in the air and kicks it. So she uses it kind of correctly. So I suppose
I can
that...
grab the image. Oh, I can grab it.
Yeah, I suppose then that they fixed that later.
なんか全く違う言い伝えじゃないの
I mean, Lancer's not actually
そん
Lance
なんで伝説の武器だなんて
to
言うの
Chulainn.
か。
I mean, yeah, he's a heroic spirit, but they moved around some of the weapons, some of their utilities. That's fine. It's just an observation.
ですから続きがあるのです。ゲイボルクの能力は様々な形で伝えられていますが、その全てに心臓をうがつという一節が残っている。
Yeah, so they really focused on this one aspect of the legend, which is recurring. Oh fuck, that was a
そ
mistake.
れは武器としての能力ではなく、あくまで持ち主の技量だと思っていましたが、間違いだったようですね。魔装の正体、ランサーのゲイボルクの能力は文字通り心臓をうがつものです。
That said, I can recall vividly. That night, the lance thrust at Saber's feet moved in an impossible fashion and went toward her heart.
つまりあいつの槍は。
ええ、使えば必ず敵の心臓をうがつ魔装なのでしょう。空間をねじ曲げているのか、因果率を変えているのか。ともあれ、槍自体の呪いとランサー自身の技量でしょうね。こと1対1の戦闘においてこれほど効率的な武器はありません。
無駄がない。無駄がないってどういう意味だよ。
わかりませんか。ランサーの槍は城を破壊することはできませんが、宝具というものはその規模によって消費する魔力が変わります。A ランクの宝具を持つ者はその使用に大量の魔力を消費する。一度使ってしまえば失った分の魔力補充には時間がかかるのです。
I'm sorry, what?
It's like an assassin.
Yeah, indeed.
He cannot destroy a castle, but it's enough to kill one person.
Indeed.
ですが人を一人、いえ、サーバントを倒すのにそれほど強大な破壊力などいりません。ランサーのように一撃で仕留められるのであれば、それ以上の戦果はないでしょう。
つまりなんだ、大砲一発分より弓矢一本の方がコストが低い。
はい。ですがサーバントには弓矢など当たりません。結果としてサーバント同士の戦いは大砲の打ち合いになるのですが、
ランサーのゲイボルクはその弓矢を命中させられる槍ってことか。しかもかすり傷じゃなく確実に命を奪う心臓に当てる。
Unless they have luck B or above, apparently.
加えて使うための魔力もそう多くない。あの程度の魔力商品なら7回使っても魔力の補充は必要ないでしょう。
It's pretty curious because even though that his noble phantasm can only kill one person very well, his legend is famous partly because he killed a fuckload of people, like almost an entire army by himself. But he did do it by fighting each soldier one-on-one for various years, so I suppose that's why it's a cheap weapon to use.
通常のサーバントは数回戦闘すれば休まざるを得ません。ですがランサーならば6人を続けて相手にすることもできる。まあ1対1であることが条件になってきますが。
Those are the curious ways in which Fate Stay Night actually represents the myths it takes inspiration from. Would you look at that? So he's a servant who's not flashy, but who can definitely win, huh?
その割には本人無駄が多かったぞ。俺を相手にして遊んでいたしな。
This is interesting.
ランサー自身、村っ気のある人物のようです。非常な人物ではありましたが、
He was a kid.
どこか憎めない一面がありました。
That's just the way they are. The whole point of his legend is that he died young. I feel the same way, but we can't let our guard down.
Isn't he like 22 years old?
Yeah, he died when he was in his early 20s. And his life was full of tragedy, so... He stabbed me through the heart as if he was cutting grass. Servants like Berserker and Lancer have no hesitation when it comes to using their weapons. He would make a fucking cool Berserker, though. Especially if he had the transformation ability.
他のやつのことだけど。
待ってください、シロ。屋敷の門を人がくぐりました。
え、そんなことわかるのか。ってもうこんな時間。まずい。きっと桜が帰ってきたんだ。
Not again. I quickly stand up. I hear the sound of the doorbell from the entrance.
お邪魔します。
Fuck. I can hear Sakura's voice.
そういえば悪いんだがその。
分かっています。部屋に戻っていますから、私のことは気にせずに。
Sakura's hungry.
Saber leaves for her room. And in her place.
ただいま。感心感心。ちゃんと先に帰ってたわね。
Tohsaka is holding a grocery bag and,
お邪魔します先輩。珍しいですね。
Oh fuck,
先輩が
Tohsaka's
こんな
gonna
早くから
cook
帰って
tonight.
きてくれるのって。
Sakura comes in smiling happily.
よし、準備は完璧だ。それじゃあ始めるとしましょうか。
Tohsaka shouts and goes into the kitchen. This is gonna be a nightmare. Sakura looks at her worriedly.
先輩、お夕飯の支度なんですけど。
今日は遠坂の番だからいい。桜は朝作ってくれたんだから夜は任せてくれ。
はい。先輩がそう言うのならそうします。
It's a very bad idea, man. Sakura sits on a cushion obediently. There is a flashy fury sound coming from the kitchen, but there's nothing dangerous looking about Tohsaka's appearance from behind.
あれなら任せても大丈夫だな。
So there's no point in staying here. There's Saber to think about, so I should go back to my room until dinner is prepared.
ちょっと部屋で休んでくれ。藤姉がやってきたらたまには風呂を沸かすように言っといてくれ。
はい。どうぞごゆっくり先輩。ご飯の支度ができたら呼びに行きますね。
なあ。とそうだ。部屋に来るときはノックを忘れないでくれ。
It's a little before 6 o'clock. From the way things are going, it looks like dinner will be around 7. When I get back to the room, Saber is asleep in the room next to mine.
なんだ。なんか話そうと思ったのに。
Wake her up, man. I click my tongue and sit in a cushion.
何言ってんだか。聖杯戦争のこと以外何話していいかもわからないくせに。
Anyways, didn't I have trouble talking to Saber?
いいけどさ。眠ってるならそれで。
I say that and just stare at the clock. Yesterday's dinner was just me, Saber, and Tohsaka. But today it'll be 5 people, including Sakura and Fujine.
あ、いや、セイバーはダメなのか。
As long as Sakura and Fujine are here, I can't let Saber out of this room.
セイバー、朝飯食ったのかな。
Saber was nodding while eating dinner last night, Judging from that, I guess it's not like she doesn't need food.
昼飯は用意しなかったし。
That's weird, a servant should need those
いい
things.
よな、そりゃ。
When Sakura and Fujine go home, I have to warm up dinner and serve it to her. She'll need to eat alone, but that can't be helped. Imagining Saber eating by herself is really annoying me.
シロ、起きてる？
Tohsaka knocks on the door and looks inside.
トーサカ？なんだ？
何って夕食なんだけど。できたから来て。
That time already, huh? I get up and leave, glancing at the room where Saber is sleeping.
あ、来た来た。ほら見てよこの料理。なんと遠坂さんは長らく不在だった中華料理ができる人だったのだ。
Fujine is looking excitedly at all the food prepared on the table. Now that she mentions it, the food certainly is Chinese. On the 4 big plates are crab with eggs, shredded beef and pepper, some stir-fry of an elegant-looking meat I've never seen before with vegetables, and a plate of full steamed meat dumplings. There are salads on the side plates, and various follow-ups are ready. Put it simply, it's the kind of gorgeous dinner Fujine loves.
驚いたな。トーサカのことだから洋風で来ると思ったのに。
本当は洋風を考えてたそうですよ。けど中華料理は誰も作らないって言ったら、なら私が作るって。
なんでそう隙間をつくような人生しか送れないのか、あいつは。なあさくら、トーサカと一緒に帰ってきたけど、あれは一緒に買い物に行ってたのか？
はい。遠坂先輩、弓道部が終わるまで待っててくれたんです。
That's good.
なんだ、思ったより仲がいいじゃないか。
They have a long history.
そうですね。
That's true.
遠坂先輩とは学校でもよく話してましたから。私のどこが気に入られたかわからないんですけど、入学した頃から親切にしてもらってます。
Oh look, that's funny. Fate Zero changes this. Wow. She really is a nice senpai at school.
おしゃべりはいいから早く
Why
食べ
did
よ
they change it?
私も
But
お
okay.
腹ペコペコだよ。
Because Mapo Tofu knows what I'm talking about. It has them being nice to each other before they meet. I might be misremembering though.
Is sleepy now.
It's in the first episode. But I might be misremembering. I don't remember precisely well. Whatever.
Okay.
Let's
No
quit
problem.
talking and eat. I'm hungry already. Fujine sits down happily.
だってさ、二人も早く座ったら。中華物って冷めると犯罪的にまずいんだから。
I can confirm that. Saying this coldly, Tohsaka sits down as well. I sit down silently. Everyone bows and eats the food. Annoyingly, it's good. I've never cooked Chinese because I thought it all tastes the same. This is so good it makes me realize it was just prejudice. Based Shirou doesn't like Chinese
こんなに
food.
ご飯を美味しくさせる料理は久しぶりだよ。
Ah, man.
遠坂さんに100点をあげましょう。ありがとうございます。先生のように素直に感想を言ってもらえると私も嬉しいです。
Okay.
はい、私も中華を見直しました。辛いのって苦手なんですけど、すごく美味しいです。
Sakura is happily enjoying the food too. All they needed was some Mapo Tofu and everything would be great. After watching this with a smile, Tohsaka-rin looks at me with an expression of triumph.
なんだよ、なんか言いたそうだな。
別にみんなに気に入ってもらえてよかったなって。まあ若干一名素直じゃないのがいるけど、それはそれで楽しいからよしとしましょう。
Man.
そうか。さてはお前、昨日俺に飯作らせたのはこっちの戦力分析か。
She really is a demon.
はい、今日の教訓は手の内は常に隠しておくでした。
She's more like Fox.
She says this happily and starts eating her own food.
Okay.
Shirou Emiya is defeatable. Dinner is more lively than I was expecting. Sakura and Tohsaka are good senpai and junior, and Fujine is completely friends with Tohsaka now. That's a dangerous combination. Well, I have no complaints about a fun meal. No complaints, but I feel like there's something wrong with all of us eating right now. Maybe it's because Saber's alone. I stand up.
That's true. I think she's
何し
hungry.
ろトイレ
いや忘れ物をした連れてくるから待っててくれ
Okay, Shirou. When I leave the living room, Tohsaka is staring at me silently. She knows what's coming. I just couldn't take it. That's the only reason. I don't like it when she's in the same house but alone. I mean, at the end of the day, he's stupid, but he is a gentleman. So before considering the consequences, I grab her hand.
That's a bit hard.
シロ突然何をするのです
Yeah.
いいから来てくれみんなにセイバーを紹介するから
正気ですか待ってくださいそれは
正気だから連れて行くんだほらいいから行こう後のことなんてなるようになる
シロ
I grab Saber's hand and take her to the living room. Shirou is touching a woman's hands. I mean,
悪いなトーサカ
holy shit.
もう一人分いい
What a
かな
revolution. Tohsaka doesn't object. But Fujine and Sakura are looking at Saber with astonishment.
遅くなったけど紹介するこの子はセイバーって言ってしばらく面倒を見ることになったから見ての通り外国人さんだから日本の暮らしには慣れてないんで
Oh no. There's no reaction from the two. That's only natural, but I don't have enough composure to care about them right now.
ほらそこに座
I
れよ
think
セ
he
イバ
broke
ー
them, guys.
飯はみんなで食べた方がいいだろ
それは確かに効率的だとは思いますが
遠慮なんてするな大体なこれからはセイバーも一緒に住むんだぞ同じ家に住んでるんだから一緒に飯を食うのは当然だ
はいシロがそう言うのでしたら私は従うだけですが
I find it funny that he says she's a foreigner because she's white, and that's fine, but she also speaks Japanese in kind of a really weird and formal way, which kind of plays into the lie.
You kept.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Another no fantasy.
My ears! My ears are ringing! She threw a
どう
flashbang,
しちゃ
man.
ったのよシロってば遠坂さんだけじゃなくこんな子まで連れ込んじゃっていつからここは旅館みたいになっちゃったのよ
なんだよいいじゃないか旅館みたいに広いんだから一人や二人部屋を貸しても遠坂がいいんならセイバーだっていいだろ
いいわけないでしょ遠坂さんは認めるけどそんな得体の知れない子なんて知らないもん
どこの子って遠い
A distant relative.
よくわからない事情があって親父を頼ってやってきたとか
That makes sense.
She's my
そん
15th
な作り
cousin.
話信じられない大体ね仮にそうだとしてもどうしてエミヤの家に来たのよキリツグさんに外
The
国の
hell do
知り
you
合いなんている
mean?
ん
He
だ
traveled all the time. He must have had a bunch of kids. She can't really say that. Because father was a simpleton who went to foreign countries all the time. He would have more acquaintances overseas than in Japan.
ないとは言い切れないけどそれにしたっておかしいわ
Fujine glares at Saber.
あいやだからそれは
シロは黙ってなさいセイバーさん私はあなたに聞いてるんだけど
Oh no. Saber is silent. It's only natural. She doesn't have any reason to go along with my lies, nor a dexterous enough mind, so she,
さあ私はキリツグの言葉に従っただけです
She knows his name!
Holy shit.
Well, I guess she does.
キリツグさんがシロを頼むって
はいあらゆる敵からシロを守るようにと
But Taya said his name.
What?
But Taya said Kritsugu name. No, it was.
No, she
Emiya.
didn't. Yeah.
No, Emiya said that she was an acquaintance
Of his father, not of Kiritsugu.
Holy shit. That's true.
Oh, but she did say Kiritsugu-san.
Okay.
So that's right. She knows his name! Who could object to that? Even if it's a lie, it's the ultimate truth for Saber herself. Even Fujine can't object to these words. But she stands up with a frown, glaring at Saber. Oh, we get the battle of the sabers. Fujine responds strangely. Duel of the Fates. So, with the sound of wind, Fujine takes us outside. She takes the shinai from the wall and glares at Saber. Well, just what is our Fujine thinking about? She's going to release the power of Tora Shinai. I am deporting you, you fuck.
That's impossible. I like this.
Fujine is so cute.
I like it. Yeah. She's like a mother.
Yeah, it's true. It seems Saber doesn't understand what Fujine is trying to say.
She's a big sister.
Yeah. Kinda, half-half. Of course, no one else around here does either.
And why do you keep suffering?
Because she makes her food, man.
Oh yeah, I forget that.
Fujine plays her with her shinai as if she's sulking. Dear God. Just as she says that, Fujine rushes at Saber and attacks her with the shinai. Not only was that a surprise attack, but she didn't even give Saber a shinai. Are you really a teacher, Tiger? Saber must be surprised by Fujine's surprise attack as she just stands there distractedly. Fujine's clever attack to the body strikes. Fujine tilts her head curiously. That's only natural. It's strange even for those of us watching, so it must be as strange to the hanging gardens of Babylon for Fujine. Saber is still standing. The difference is she is now holding the shinai Fujine was wielding until now. I don't know what's real, but it's certainly true. Saber doesn't even take a stance. Fujine doesn't move, standing before Saber. She's a kendo expert, set to be unmatched. That experience must have made her realize that the person in front of her is on a completely different level. Oh shit. Poor Fujine. She backs away unsteadily and drops to her knees.
The contest is over.
She's crying, oh no! Fujine hangs her head and slumps her shoulders. The very moment I think she'll calm down. Oh no! Oh, that sucks. Oh man. She starts to cry so loudly that those around her get dizzy. I feel bad for her, man. In the end, it took 2 hours to persuade Fujine. She said, I went to talk for a bit and went into father's room for 2 hours. When she came out, she nodded and said, I guess I have to approve of her, with an unhappy face. On the other hand, Sakura is silent. It was getting late, so Fujine ended up walking Sakura home, but she said nothing and merely bowed and went home. It's kind of sad to think that Fujine was talking with Kiritsugu for 2 hours. That's pretty depressing, man. Then I'll go back to the outbuilding. Come to think of it, Tohsaka's like this too.
悪かったな。どうせバカな真似してって思ってるんだろ。
別に。ただあなたのしていることは心の贅肉よ。そんな余分なことばっかりしてたらいつか身動きが取れなくなるわ。
I mean, he did do something stupid. Making Fujine cry is a fucking crime.
That's true, but
Saying goodnight with a wave, Tohsaka leaves. I'm tired. I'll rest early too.
待ってください、シロ。私もあなたに聞くべきことがある。
いいけど、何？
なぜ私を皆に紹介したのですか？私もリンの言う通り、シロの行為は不必要だと思います。
なぜも何もない。単に嫌だったから紹介しただけだ。
シロ、それは答えになっていません。何が嫌だったのか言ってもらわなければ。
Saber draws closer. Was what happened tonight that strange for Saber?
そんなの知るか。ただ飯食ってて、セイバーは一人でいるのかって思ったら嫌になっただけだ。強いて言うなら、藤根と桜にもセイバーを知ってもらっておけば、隠し事も減ると思ったぐらいだよ。
それはあまり意味のあることではありません。むしろ彼女たちに私の存在を知らせるのはマイナスです。この屋敷なら私の存在は隠し通せるのですから。
What's better? Is she better off being an outcast while we're all eating?
そんなことはない。セイバーが良くても俺が嫌だったんだからしょうがないだろう。こういうの理屈じゃないと思う。
Saying so, I avert my gaze from Saber.
土蔵に行ってくるから先に部屋に戻っていてくれ。
There's no response. Turning my back on Saber, who doesn't seem to agree, I head out to the shed. I go outside. The quiet yard lit by the pale moonlight. The winter sky is high and the stars are clear. I sigh without realizing. Tohsaka's right. I'm certainly contradicting myself. The me that's trying to go to the shed, avoiding the room Saber's sleeping in. On the other hand, the me that doesn't want to leave Saber alone. Even though I find it hard to deal with Saber as a member of the opposite sex, I can't leave her alone as a human. It's only natural for Tohsaka to be disgusted with me.
未熟なのは魔術だけだと思ってたけど、精神修行もなってないじゃないか。
I murmur, looking up into the sky absent-mindedly. The night wears on. Since I'm inexperienced, I can't skip my training. I can only refine myself, believing that I can reach something if I continue my effort. There you go. And I think we can cut it short.
oh, that's the end. Yeah.
I will save it at
Blade. Oh,
the day screen.
and Blade, the name. Oh, I like it.
So, do we have any thoughts on what went on today?
I mean, it was,
Special. I just think it was good that he introduced Saber to the others.
I mean, he created.
And I hate Shinji. I just want to say I hate Shinji so much.
Yes.
everyone does.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool how Stay Night can go from like a really funny scene to something that's really kind of emotional, just like on the spot, and it kind of still works. It's difficult to do that, and I appreciate it. It's kind of cool that they just kind of try to explore the whole emotional width of the situation as opposed to, you know, focusing on the one thing and kind of sacrificing, you know, the story for the sake of a comedy bit, for example. It's one of the memorable things about Stay Night in general, and I think that this route has a bunch of those moments in particular. So it's kind of nice to go through them again. I don't know. Seeing Fujine cry breaks my heart, man. I don't know. It's awful. Yeah.
For me, it was like a peace moment. It was like I don't know how to explain it. It's
Well-
just a fun moment, if I can say.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, we are going to from now on, the thing is, it only gets worse from here.
Okay.
You know?
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You're like the calm before the storms.
Yeah. It's kind of shitty when you think about it. That at the end of the day, all of these nice things that are going on, there's gonna be some trouble ahead. But we're trudging on rather quickly, I think. Actually, since we're done with the 4th today, both the 3rd and the 4th. This means that we are done up to day 5 of the route, which means there's only 10 more days to go. A couple of them are really long, but we should be done with this soon. We are about a third of the way there to the ending. So yeah. How are you guys tomorrow? Because I think I'm gonna be able to do it tomorrow, if not a little later than usual.
Okay, I thought you said that we will meet tomorrow.
Oh no. I meant to ask if you guys are free tomorrow, because I think we'll be able to do it. I think we'll be able to do it, but a little later than usual. And hopefully we'll be able to get done with the next day as well.
Okay. I think tomorrow will be a good day to me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, very well. So this is it. I'll cut the recording.